Our government is broken into three branches: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch.
On the national level, the legislative branch, or Congress, is made up of the House of Representatives and the state. This branch makes laws.
The executive branch, which is made up of the President, the Cabinet, and the governmental agencies, executes the laws passed by Congress.
The judicial branch carries out justice and makes sure that the laws passed in the country are constitutional.
If the majority of the members of the Senate are from a different political party than a majority of the members of the House of Representatives, this is called a divided Congress. A divided government, or even a divided Congress, can make it harder to pass laws. In the executive branch of government at the federal level, the President is elected. The President has several members within his cabinet who are his advisors. These advisors are appointed by the President with the consent of the Senate. Elections can affect this because if the government is a divided government, then the President must pick someone that the Senate will approve. The political party representing the majority in Congress will influence the policy that comes out of it. A good example is the current health care law. While there was a Democrat in the White House and a majority of Democrats in both houses of Congress, this health care law passed. In the 2010 election, when the Republicans took control of the House, there were proposed laws attempting to repeal the health care law. If the Republicans were to take control of both the House and the Senate, they probably would be able to pass a repeal of the law through both houses of Congress before sending it on to the President. In this case, if a Democrat is still the President of the United States, he would veto it and send it back to Congress, which would then try to override the veto. The result of the elections will determine whether there will be the 3/4 vote required in Congress to override the veto. Elections can essentially limit the President's veto power by giving Congress the numbers to override it. They can also give the President more power to implement his policies by electing more representatives from the President's party. The judges in the judicial branch are appointed. The judicial branch is affected by elections only in the essence that all judges are appointed by the President with the advice and consent of the Senate. If the election has given the power of the Senate to the same party as the President, then it will be easier for the President to appoint someone with the same philosophies as the President has. If the President and the majority of the Senate are from different political parties, however, the President sometimes has to compromise on his choices of appointees to the judicial branch. There are times when the person who is appointed to the court can change the entire makeup of the Supreme Court. Many times the court's vote is close, and one vote can change how the court decides on an important issue. However, if the makeup of the court changes, it could change how it rules on everything.
Elections aren't only important at the federal level. They're also important at the state level in Texas, too. In Texas, the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the state justices, and many others are all elected. There are many different ways that elections can affect the government within the state of Texas.
To recap what we've learned today, elections are very important throughout the entire government and can affect the policy that comes from the legislature, the effect that the executive branch has on that policy, and even the decisions that are made by the judicial branch.
Elections are very important and should not be taken lightly.
One vote may actually change the entire political outlook of the entire country.
One vote can make the difference between a government controlled by one party and a government at odds with each other.
Your country's future rests in your hands. Make sure your vote counts.